Hi guys, sorry I had to wait for the meeting to convert. I was 2 minutes late, sorry. Um, we'll give just a couple more minutes for people to join again, and then we'll get started. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. We have quite a bit to finish. Still have people in the waiting room spinning. Okay, so we were on page 231. Okay, all right, on page 231. We are on the second paragraph. It says for a year and a half, no one from the Black community shopped on Broughton Street. So for 1 year and a half, they carried out these protests, and no one bought anything from any store on Broughton Street. Okay, no one went in the stores and bought anything. That's a lot of people and a lot of business to lose for these shops. Okay, all right. If you have not read today, you can raise your hand to read. Okay, I know that some of you have not read. I'll go down and find your names if you're not raising your hand to read. I want everybody to read. All right, Yusuf, how about you? Hello, Yusuf. Hello, Yusuf. Guys, I told you it's really important that you're ready to read when you're called on. Yassine? Did you find your book, Yassine?
Yes, Samantha.
Did you find your book?
Yes.
Okay, how about you read the third paragraph for us?
Paragraph. Man,
Wesley?
man
Wesley?
wanted man wanted one of the dumb
Yassine, what
men.
page are you on, Yassine?
Okay. Large meetings.
Honey, that's not where we are. We are here. The third paragraph. Wesley walked.
Okay. Wesley walked down the street and started containing
Counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going out of being bus in bus
Business.
in sinks the white straw winner couldn't stay in business without black customers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Yassine. Okay, so Wesley walked down Broughton Street and he noticed that there were 5 different signs up for stores that were going out of business because without the business from the Black people, they weren't making enough money to stay in business. They were going to go out of business. Okay, last paragraph for the meeting.
Yes,
Can you read, please?
of course. When he delivered mail to the white people, Wesley told them how much he loved Savannah. He wanted to be.
We are
He
here.
wanted this.
When?
Yes, that's what I
I,
was. That's where
I
I was
couldn't.
reading.
Yes, honey,
You
but I
can
couldn't
hear
hear you.
me.
Yes, I
Okay.
couldn't hear you. Can
When
you
he
start over?
when he delivered mail to the white people, Wesley told them how much he loved Savannah. He wanted the city to be a better place for everyone. They respected Wesley. They saw how peaceful and committed to change the protesters were. Little by little, more and more white people began to sympathize with the protesters.
Okay. So because Wesley and the people who were protesting with Wesley were peaceful and kind, people began to say, okay, maybe what they're saying is right. They have a right to do the same things that we are doing. And so more and more white people began to think that probably what they were protesting for was fair and that they should be considered, that they should have rights just like the white people had. Okay, next page, Pilar.
Yes, Miss Amanda.
Okay, can you read the paragraph for us, please?
Okay. With people in the community who supported Wesley asked what they could do to end
Segregation.
segregation and stop the boycott together. Leaders from the white and black communities worked out and planned each e- evening after delivering the mail. Wesley organized a group of students to sit in a different kind of business of or fac-
Did you lose your connection?
no, I can't read it.
Okay, different kind of business or facility.
Or facility. The next day, the theaters would be first, then the restaurants, then the library, and on down the line unit until
Until
every business until every businesses had been
desegregated.
desegregated.
Desegregated, okay?
Desegregated.
All right, thank you, honey. So they decided that they were going to go to a different business every day and they were going to boycott all of these businesses. They were going to start with the theaters, then they were going to move on to the restaurants, the library, and so on until they got to all the businesses and they showed the people that what they were doing, number one, they were committed to. They were very serious about this. They weren't going to give up. They were going to remain peaceful and that they were going to fight for a change. They wanted to show all of the businesses that they spent money in that without them, they wouldn't be able to survive. And so they began to join forces and go from business to business to make their protests work. Hey, Ed.
Okay, Mr. Manda, I am going to read. Sometimes angry crowds would gather or white people would leave in protest. When the black students arrived, but most of the white and black leaders stuck together. The mayor made sure that all the signs marking separate facilities or blacks and whites at City Hall, the courthouse, health department, and hospital were taken down. City officials took the segregation laws off the books. Unlike desegregation efforts in other cities and towns in the South, there was very little violence in Savannah.
Okay, so because Wesley had taught the people who were working with him in his protest to be peaceful and not to fight back, there was not a lot of fighting in Savannah, Georgia, which is where Wesley is from. Although in many other places in the South where they were also fighting, like they did in North Carolina when they went to the lunch counter, where there was lots of violence. Many people fought the people and hurt them. In Savannah, there was not a lot of violence, mostly because Wesley's people never fought back. Okay. All right. So sometimes the angry crowds would try to push them back, but they all stuck together, and they ended up being able to get the city officials to take the segregation laws out of the books. That means that they stopped the laws of segregation. And so there was no law any longer that Black people had to be in one place and white people had to be in another. All right. How about you, Tia? You read for us next? Hello, Tia.
Miss, I just entered because the electricity was cut.
And last meeting also?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have your book?
yes. I
Are
don't
you
know where
open?
we are.
Okay, we're on page 233. Guys, I'm going to finish the last page. Justice delivered. On a Sunday in September 1961, Wesley greeted the hundreds of people who arrived at a downtown Savannah church. Inside, their voices joined together to sing out, "We are soldiers in God's army." When the song ended, Wesley stood in front of the crowd. He saw his mother sitting in the front row. He saw students who had been arrested. He saw faces beaming with pride. Then he announced, sorry, lost my place for a second. Then he announced in a loud, clear voice, "We have triumphed." Savannah was the first southern city in the United States to declare all its citizens equal, 3 years before the Federal Civil Rights Act made all segregation illegal. People, both Black and white, saw Wesley as Savannah's hero. He had kept the protests disciplined and peaceful, even in the face of violence. Modestly, he would say, "I was just doing what every Black American should be doing." Wesley Wallace Law delivered more than just the mail to the citizens of Savannah. He delivered justice too. His grandma's prayers had been answered. Okay, so Wesley was the first leader to be able to take his people to through a protest that led to equal rights at the end. They were the first city in the South to declare all of their citizens equal. Okay, so Wesley's plan had worked and he had fulfilled his grandma's prayer of being a leader for his people. Yeah, do you have a question?
No, I just forgot to put down my hand.
Okay, no problem. All right, now, this took us a long time to read, but I felt it was really important that you guys understood this story because it's still pertinent today. It's still happening that people, sorry, it's still happening today that people are fighting for rights on a different level because supposedly everybody has the same rights, but people are fighting still today to say that they don't actually have the same rights, even though people try to make it look like they have the same rights, that they don't actually have the same rights. And so they are fighting to get their rights together. All right, in your turn practice workbook, let's take a look together before we continue at, just one second. Let's take a look at the weekly plan for your class because we have altered it a bit, not having enough time to finish some of the things that we were planning. So let's look together. Here we have, let's go down to Wednesday. Yesterday we were supposed to finish the story and do the composition. We did not finish the story, so that ran over into today. We're going to do the story map now and the vocabulary and the genre. I don't know if we're going to have time, most likely not, to get to the features of explanatory writing. So we will do this together next week, okay? So this is not homework. Do not do it and send it to me. We will leave this lesson and we will do it on Sunday, okay? All right, let's finish now. The story map, the vocabulary, and the genre. Let's go to page 121 in your turn practice workbook, page 121. Give everybody a chance to get their your turn practice book and find page 121. Page 3. All right, I'm just checking to see if I have this copy here. 1 second. Please don't open your camera unless I ask you to. Guys, can you turn off the camera and raise your hand? I will get to you, but I need you to close the camera because you keep opening black screens on my computer every time you open your camera. Please close your camera. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Again, let's have good manners when we attend the meetings. Remember, you get points for behavior as well, which is also reported to administration. So do not turn on your camera. Again, the camera is on. Vassal, why is your camera on? Turn your camera off unless I ask you to turn it on. Guys, don't play with the camera. All right, 1 second. Sorry. Nope. All right, so let's just do page 121 together. I'll bring up a Word document and I'll write with you. We're going to do the sentences together. So on page 121, you will read the sentence and I will write for you on the screen, okay? All right. Let's see, if you want to answer, you can raise your hand to answer. And I will call on people. Okay, Leanne, read number 1 for us, please.
Okay. Protest. We didn't want them to shut the library down.
We didn't want them to shut the library down. How can we use protest in a sentence?
Because
if we don't want, remember, we protest when we don't want someone to do something, or we want to change their way. So, what could I use the protest as?
because reading books is fun.
Okay, so but it says we don't want them to shut the library down. Okay, we want them to keep it open. So we can make a protest to have them keep it open. Okay, and we can do that because we think reading books is important and fun. Okay, all right. So we didn't want them to shut the library down. So we protested. That's not a capital S because it's in the middle of the sentence. But of course, it's capitalizing for us. It always does. So we protested to keep it open because reading is fun. Okay, how about that? Okay, so this tells the meaning of protested as well. We protested means that we stood up for what we thought was right. We didn't want it to shut down, so we protested to keep the library open. Okay, Tahir, read number 2. Guys, please, if you're raising your hand to answer, be ready to answer and to have an idea on how to answer the question.
Yes.
Number 2.
The new baseball league starts next week.
Remember, registered means that you have signed your name to a list to participate.
Next week. So I registered
Very good.
to be in the team.
Very good, honey. The new baseball league starts next week. So, sorry. So I registered to be on the team. Excellent. Very good. All right. Number 3. Ragmini.
Yes.
Number 3, please.
Fulfill. My sister picked up me from school. My sister picked me up from school when I fulfilled my class.
All right. So fulfill means to complete something that you're asked to do. We can't say we fulfill class, but maybe mom asked your sister to pick you up. So maybe your sister is the one who's fulfilling something. How can we write the sentence that your sister is the one who's fulfilling? You have an idea? Did you mute yourself again? There you go, honey.
Thank you.
Do you have an idea how we can write the sentence so that the sister is the one who's fulfilling?
Yes. My sister fulfilled. My sister picked me up from school. My sister picked me up from school.
Okay, so let's say that my sister picked me up from school and she fulfilled her promise to my mom. Okay, so maybe she told mom she would pick you up from school and she fulfilled her promise by picking you up. Okay, fulfill means to complete a task or something you are given to do. Okay, thank you, Ragmini. Hamza, can you read number 4, please? Hello, Hamza.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, honey. Number 4, please.
To have a good president of our school, you have to be qualified.
Okay, very good. That's right. That's right. Well, to have a good president of our school, the person must be qualified. Okay, very good. Thank you. Again, that T is not capital, it capitalizes for us. All right, next. Sarah, number 5, please.
Miss Amanda, you accidentally unmuted me instead of Farah or any other classmate.
Yes, Miss Amanda. Hello? Miss
Go
Amanda?
ahead, sweetheart. Read number 5.
Okay. Boycott. When my mother was younger, she boycotted the library.
All right. Okay, we want to use the word boycott, so I'll change it just a little bit. When my mother was younger, she took part in a boycott at the library. Okay? At the library. Remember, we said a boycott is when we refuse to do business with the place because we don't like its practices. All right, number 6, please. Thank you, Farah. Number 6, Leanne.
Yes.
Number 6, honey.
Okay. Mistreated. When we got blamed for Miss Amanda, what does mean blamed?
When somebody says you did something, like if they say you're guilty of doing something.
What did you say, sorry?
Sorry? You didn't hear me?
I couldn't hear you very well. Yeah.
When you get blamed for doing something, it means that someone says you're guilty of doing something. Like if someone
Okay.
says Leanne did it, they are blaming you.
When we got blamed for mistreated, we were sad.
Okay, so how about when we got blamed? When we got blamed, let's see what this book says. When we got blamed for, how about something we didn't do?
Uh,
When we got blamed for something,
cutting the papers,
when we got
cutting the
blamed,
sheets.
okay, honey, one second. When we got blamed for something we didn't do, we were sad. Okay? When we got blamed for something that we didn't do, we were sad. That's what you said, right? That you were
Yeah,
sad.
but you didn't put the word mistreated.
Okay, I will. I'll add it. We were sad.
Okay.
Sad means to be treated badly, right? We were sad
Yeah, sure.
because we were mistreated.
Mistreated.
Mistreated, okay? We were
Okay.
sad because we were mistreated. So we were sad, we were mistreated when we didn't do something wrong. All right, thank you, Leanne. Adito, want to do number 7?
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
Encouragement. My brother was having trouble with his painting. Like,
My brother was having trouble with his painting, so
so he had to, like, I had to give him more encouragement.
very good. So I gave him encouragement to finish. Okay, so if he's having trouble, encourage If he's having trouble finishing, then you give him encouragement to help him finish. Okay, Adito? Very good. All right. Reem, how about number 8?
The police officer told us
Remember, injustice is when something isn't fair.
about the injustice crime.
Okay, let's see. The police officer told us about the injustice. So is a crime, if something is a crime, it means it's something that someone has done wrong. So that wouldn't be something that's not fair, right? But what about the injustice? What about our story? What was an injustice in our story? What was something that wasn't fair in our story?
The white people was treating the black people badly.
That's right. Okay, so maybe this police officer saw what happened. So he told us about the injustice of the treatment of black people in Savannah, which is where our story took place. Okay, so he told us about the injustice, the unfair treatment of black people in Savannah. All right. Okay, now for those guys that come and just kind of sit at the bottom of the meeting and don't raise your hand and don't participate, you get participation grades. Okay, you get participation grades. So I would suggest that you are participating and taking part. Those people who come for just the first couple of minutes of the meeting and leave, tell your friends, those that are coming and leaving the meeting, I do not mark them present. They are marked absent. Okay, they don't stay for the whole meeting. They're marked absent. All right, let's move on. I will post this for you so that you can finish writing it in your notebook. I'm sorry, in your turn practice workbook. I will post that for you. Let me save it right now. So I have it for you. Okay, there we go. And now let's turn to page 126. 126. On page 126, we have the genre for the week, where we always do the page about the genre. So let's take a look at page 126 together. At the top of the page, we have 3 paragraphs and we have a text feature. Okay? Now, everybody should have page 126 open in front of them. Remember, those people who go in and out of my meeting and stay out of the meeting for a while and then come back towards the end, I do not count your attendance. Okay, please tell your friends, those that are running in and out. Okay, all right. Reem, I'm going to lower your hand. Rugmini, I'm going to lower your hand. Abdurrahman, I'm going to lower your hand. Does anybody have questions before we start this page? Okay. I believe everybody has read today at some point, other than Tia. Tia, you did not read, okay? I think Tia is the only one who did not read for us. Mohammed, did you read? Mohammed, did you read? If you did not read, please raise your hand. Okay. Remember what I told you guys, you have to be ready to participate when you're called on. All right, let's go down. Page 126, Tia. Tia, where are you going, honey? You raise your hand, very good. Okay, let's go. Tia, you read the first paragraph for us, please. Actually, you know what? Tia, read the first 2 paragraphs.
Talia, Leman, and the Random Kid. In 2005,
It says, it doesn't say the random kid. It says Talia Leman and randomkid.org. This is a website. Okay, go ahead.
okay. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast of the United States hard. 10 years old Talia Leman helped raise over 10 million to help the
victims. Okay, I'm going to finish this because we're going to run out of
victims.
time. Okay, thank you, Tia. I'm going to finish it because we're going to run out of time. Leman then founded the website randomkid.org. It helps a variety of causes across the globe and has won awards and widespread recognition. Over 12 million young people in 20 countries have joined its effort. In 2011, Leman won the National Jefferson Award for Global Change. It was her reward for all of her public service. All right. How can we tell that what we are reading is a biography? Who can tell me? How can we tell that this is a biography? Mohammed?
Hello, Miss Amanda.
Hello?
Biography. How to tell how this story's biography
Yes.
is the story of a real person written by an author.
Okay.
It may include also text feature.
Okay. So it is the story of a real person. What can we tell about the way the story is written by looking at? We have clues about how the story is written. Adito, what can you add? It's the story of a real person.
Written by a not by the person, like the real person itself.
That's right. Okay, we can tell that because it's not saying I or me, correct? So it's the story of a real person. And what order is our story written in? Do we have clues in the story as to how the story is written?
It's written in a time, like timeline.
That's right. It's written in the order that it actually happened in time. So what do we say we call that? We call that chronological. Chronological means it's written in the order in which it happened. Okay? It's written in the order that the events actually happened in time. All right, the second question says, what's one text feature that you see? Looking at this page, tell me one of the text features that you see, Reem.
Timeline.
That's correct. Number 2 is timeline. Guys, we're going to run out of time again. Our story was really long today. So I'm going to write timeline for number 2. We will finish this on Sunday morning. It won't take us but about 2 minutes to finish because we only have two more questions. We'll finish it together on Sunday, okay? Don't forget your spelling activity after school today, and I will see you guys on Sunday. I hope you have a good weekend and come ready to work on Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.